Hi folks, my name is Henrik Foreus and I am the game director at Paradox Development Studio. I'm going to talk today about Horselords, which is the upcoming expansion for Crusader Kings 2. This is an expansion about the Mongols and the Turkic peoples of the steppes. Now, the cool thing about these Horselords is that they don't really care about holdings, about having cities and temples and castles and so on. Instead of holdings and tax from the holdings, they simply have a population. And you don't really know where this population is located. All you care about is that it's big and that it's growing and that it provides you with a lot of fighters for your hordes. When nomads raise armies, they simply draw from their manpower pool and they choose which type of regiment they want to raise, and basically that's what they get. For nomads, prestige is very important. It's actually the most prestigious son that inherits. But you can fortunately set it up a little bit by sending your sons out to serve as mercenaries in the world. And this is pretty cool, because then they turn up as dynamic mercenary companies that you can hire. If you do this correctly and you send the right sons out, yeah, well, maybe your favorite son will actually inherit. You really don't care about your subjugated peoples that much. What you do care about is the other major clans. So we have added a new screen where you can keep track of these clans. Each clan actually has a kind of opinion about you. It's a bit more involved than just keeping some guy happy. You need to keep these people pleased with your mighty leadership. There are ways of allying with these clans. You can become a blood brother by swearing a blood oath. You can also kind of declare your hostility towards them. So if you're playing one of these major clans, you can declare a blood feud, or a blood feud can happen, and then you're free to attack them and take territory of them. People loved the old gods, where we introduced the raiding system of the pagans. Nomads have a little bit of a similar thing. They can raid, of course, but they can also destroy holdings that they've taken, which will give them some loot and pillage, and of course it will clear out the land so that it serves as a better population base that they can then draw manpower from. Another cool thing we added in this expansion is the Silk Road. The Silk Road passes from China through Central Asia into Europe. And there's another path which passes along the coast of India and up into the Persian Gulf and the Red Sea. And all the rulers along the way can actually build little trade posts along the route, as if they were merchant republics. Now, the really cool thing is that if one of the holdings along the path is occupied, the trade will be rerouted along the other path, basically. So you can mess with people further down the line and manipulate the way that the trade passes from China to Europe. Then we have tributaries. This is something that people have asked for a long time. Basically, it's the ability to force someone to become your tributary. You can declare a war, and if you win, they will become your tributaries and have to pay you some money. And they can also be called into your wars. The only downside, really, is that you will be expected to help them in their wars. As usual, of course, along with this expansion, we're also releasing a lot of free content. The main focus for us this time around is that we basically focused on fixing old bugs in the game, so it should be a much smoother experience to play. Of course, we've also extended the map a little bit, not actually the edge of the map, but we've added provinces in the Tarim Basin and Western Mongolia, basically, to fit the theme of the Horselords expansion. Then we've added something we call forts, which is a little holding type that you can build either in hostile territory or in your own territory. This is necessary if you're playing against the Hordes on the steppe, because they have empty provinces, and if you want to occupy that, you need to build a fort in the province, unless you also want to leave a little force of men standing around there. We've also changed the way that characters lead regiments and armies. So now your marshal and you and a number of other characters that you pick are actually commanders and can lead flanks and regiments, and no one else. I should also stress that with this patch we've added a lot of convenience features. You can right-click now on coats of arms, as well as portraits, as well as holdings, to perform all the kinds of actions versus these entities in the game, which makes the graphical interface much neater. If you want to read more about this, there's a whole series of written dev diaries out there. And of course, the expansion will be released on July the 14th. It's one of the biggest ones we've done when it comes to sheer weight of features.